Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be for the Twin Flame Collective. I have laid out a spread. Let's go straight to the bottom of the deck. Ooh, we have the Empress. So it's possible that this is coming from the Divine Feminine perspective. Behind that we have the Eight of Pentacles. So it feels like the feminine or Divine Feminine has been working on herself and is feeling pretty good, I would say. I think the work has been necessary in order to, something to do with boosting her certainty. You've needed a period of time working on yourself, possibly on your wealth or health as well, in order to become more sure of yourself, in order to make you feel more assertive, actually, I think. I think now you should be familiar with what is best for you, how you like things to go, how it's best to operate for you, and the way you want to progress. And it feels like there's been a period of time that has elapsed, which has been good for you. You are now going to be able to be more assertive in vocalizing what it is you do and don't want for your life, for the future. So that's really good news, I think, because it's all very well knowing your own worth, but you have to be able to vocalize it to other people. And I think that's possibly something where you may have struggled in the past. If that's the case, then things have definitely been improving for you. Going to the centre, we've got two cards of stress here. We have the Nine of Swords. This is the card of worrying, anxiety, sleepless nights, vivid dreams as well. And we have the Three of Swords crossing the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is feeling like you can't take much more, really. And the Three of Swords is heartbreak. And so why would heartbreak be crossing this feeling like you can't take any more? It sort of feels a little bit like the heartbreak is holding you in position. The heartbreak is keeping you stuck in a way. Let's get a clarifier. Why do we... Okay. Well, we've got two here. We've got King of Rods and the Devil. Devil could be Capricorn. The whole twin flame dynamic has kept you held in position, in a position you don't want to be in. And a position where you've been obsessing, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. I think this to me feels like it's a moving phase, like this is going into the past now, because we've got you in your best energy if you are a Divine Feminine. I think this obsessive feeling is diminishing, or even in some cases it may have gone entirely. For some, perhaps still there is an element of obsession here. King of Rods is dynamic energy. This is the go-getting king. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. To me, it feels like it's the right time to deal with this obsessive energy and to defeat it, really, to vanquish it. It's like these, I'm just going to put the king down for a minute. These three cards, you've been in this state for a long time, I think, where you've been thinking about somebody else, where you can't have them, where they're not coming forward, where you're feeling heartbroken and you're going back to thinking about them all the time and you can't have them and you're heartbroken, and so the whole thing keeps going on and on and on. And I feel like that is coming to an end. This obsessive energy is ending, and it's ending with you being in a much better energy, personally, if you're a Divine Feminine, in a much better energy, more able to cope and more able to actually get what you want. Now, this scenario, this twin flame scenario that's held you in a position of being anxious, upset and obsessed, which is sort of a really unpleasant way of living your life. That twin flame dynamic that has held you in that position is changing. And the King of Rods is here to tell you that either you have the power now, the dynamic energy, force and power to change this situation and move on from this sort of this mental anguish is really the only way of putting it. You've either got the power within you the next month or so You've got the power to leave this mental anguish behind, or somebody else is coming in to move you from this situation. And they could be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. That could be a thing. It could be that you meet somebody else and they vanquish those twin flame energies of the past. Interesting. On the face of things, we have the Two of Swords, so there is a choice here. You can choose. Do you want to stay with this negative mental anguish, or do you want something new and fresh? Well, it's up to you, really. Let's have a clarifier for the Two of Swords. Wow. Well, okay. So these are your options. Would you like disaster and great upheaval, or would you like something equally balanced and reciprocal? Well, I mean, I suppose we could literally see them that way. Two of Swords is a choice and you've got options here. Something very dramatic that's going to absolutely turn your life upside down, or something that is going to be much more balanced and equal for you. Well, that's possibly one way of looking at it. The other way is to read them together and say, what is the choice? Well, choosing to blow up your life so that you can have the balanced relationship that you want. Possibly. But that choice is sort of dependent on another person, really. So if the other person in the twin flame connection with you is a Capricorn, then potentially you could be choosing to blow up your life in order to have a reciprocal relationship with them. Or you could be choosing to blow up the twin flame connection in favour of somebody new. Possibly. Yes, well, we'll see. What's hidden or in the underneath position is Judgment. This is a wake-up card. We also have the Page of Cups. This is a love letter or an apology. And the Seven of Swords. So let me read these three together. Seven of Swords it can be choosing a battle, and it can be a sneaky, secretive energy. So if your twin flame connection was secret and you have been waiting for the other person to come forward and tell you how they feel, or say they're sorry, or explain themselves in some way, then it could be happening for you in the next 4 to 6 weeks that you do actually finally hear from somebody who you were in a secret connection with. Or you need to wake up from the fact that the connection was secret. It was always going to be difficult, and no amount of communication is going to change that fact. It could be either, really. I think we're going to have to be guided a little bit more as to what's going to happen as we go further along. In the past position, we have the Two of Pentacles. You're in a 2-year cycle. This has been going on for 2 years. Biding your time is what it feels like. And I'm going back to the centre here with the King of Rods. In the future, you have the power. So there is a dynamic force coming into play here. The aces are divinely presented, and you should take the gift that is being presented to you. And in this case, it is the gift of dynamic force and energy. So you have the power to make the changes that you want, to get the life you want in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And this is in the future position. So over the next month or two, you're going to be gifted this dynamic energy, and you should take it. Let's get a clarifier for it though, because I'd like to know what the Ace of Rods is referring to here in the future position. It's referring, well, this is the Nine of Rods. It is sometimes called the Wounded Warrior. This is reaching the end of something. So this mentally challenging situation that you've been in for the last 2 years, where you've had a lot of emotional upset and upheaval and anxiety and obsession and a lot of excessive thinking about another person who you're not in connection with, that is ending. Because the 9 and the 1 makes 10, and that is an end. So you're coming to the end of that, which is really good news. You have the power to deal with this once and for all. And I think it's interesting the way it's going to be, because you're either going to have the power to resist this connection altogether and find something better with somebody else, or you're going to have the power to deal with this connection should it come back, because I think there is a chance it could come back. But don't forget, at the start, you've been building yourself up. You now have a voice, a stronger voice. You are able to be assertive. And, you know, if we combine these two cards together, you really do have the power to get what you want. She's holding a staff as it happens. So, you know, there's something here about being able to speak. It's like you've had assertive training almost. Whereas in the past, you might have been maybe a bit too quick to compromise. You might have been a little bit too compliant. You might have tried to fit in with what suited somebody else. That time's gone. You're not that person anymore. It's like you've had some assertiveness training, and I don't believe you have, but it's like that. You're actually going to be different. Period of time, the last 2 years, where you've been going through a lot of anxiety and heartbreak and obsessive thinking over somebody you can't have or somebody who's not coming forward. That's ending. That is definitely ending this month. Or if not this month, then in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And you will then have the power and the ability to vocalize what it is you want and get what you want without having to compromise most of your ideals to fit in with somebody else. And that is what is happening in the future. This period of time that has been so difficult is ending. In the personal position, we have the 3 of Rods. This is looking out there to see what else there is, waiting for your ships to come in. So you're either waiting for another crack at this relationship or you're waiting for something better. Yeah, and that's what we had here. Have another go at this one, round 2 on the twin flame journey, or something else. Something in a fact that could be better for you. The choice is yours. Let's get a clarifier for the 3 of Rods. Oh yeah. Yeah, waiting for actual love to appear. Because I think for a lot of you, the twin flame connection that you've been in before has not really felt like love. It felt like a very strong connection. It felt like obsession. It felt like having your brain scrambled, but it hasn't felt like love. It hasn't felt supportive. It hasn't been cherishing. It hasn't been calm and happy and joyful. It's been none of those things. And actually, that is now what you're waiting for. Something that actually feels like true love, where you're going to be supported and held by another person. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great. In the home position, we have the 9 of Cups. This is having your wishes come true at home. What that's talking about here, I'm not quite sure. So let's take a clarifier. Why do we have the 9 of Cups at home? Great that your wishes are coming true. Perhaps you're being assertive with the people you live with as well. Perhaps, or your housemates or whatever. Yeah, absolutely what I'm saying. This is knowing your own worth. Knowing your own worth finally is going to bring you everything that you want. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn Queen, but she's also the Queen of knowing your own worth. So your worth has gone up a lot, and your ability to speak about your own worth has also gone up a lot. In the hopes and fears position, well, maybe you're hoping for a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn masculine, possibly a bit younger than you. Maybe you are. Maybe this is the person that you have been in this obsessive energy about. Possibly. Or it's just talking about how slow that masculine is at coming forward. Hoping that he is finally going to appear, fearing that he's still being slow. Well, I suppose it's one or the other, or both. So let's get a clarifier for the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, lots there. I just don't want all of those. Don't have the moon though. Right, so lots and lots of cards came out, but I just took the two that I saw. So we have the Three of Cups and the Moon. The Moon is confusion and the Three of Cups is happiness. It is confusing. I think particularly if you have been waiting for someone. The confusion now is, and that's what the choice is at the start. What do you do? Do you carry on waiting for them and hope that they appear and make you happy? Or do you stop waiting for them and go and find something that's going to make you happy? It's not clear because you've been waiting for a long time. This person who you want to have, right, so let me put it another way. The person that you were in the strong soul connection with, that you thought was a twin flame connection, that person you thought had the potential to make you very happy, but they have not come forward. So you stepped away and they have not reappeared. Probably because it was going to be a difficult thing to get off the ground. So now you're left thinking, should I carry on thinking that this is the individual for me? He is the one who can make me happy. Or do I just shelve that idea altogether and go and find something else that can make me happy? Those are the options. That's where we started. At the top, we have a choice. That's the choice. And it's not clear yet which way it's going to go. But at the outcome, we have the Queen of Cups and the Fool. The Queen of Cups is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, feminine. The Fool is a brand new start. So we've actually got quite a lot of strong feminine cards here. We have the Empress, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups now. This feels really to me like loving yourself is what is going to give you the new start. And we've sort of gone full circle really back to the Empress and the Eight of Pentacles. This was being on your own, working on your own self and finding your assertiveness. This is, hang on, in the middle we had knowing your own worth. Now we've got loving yourself and finding a new start. Well, we still don't know whether it's a new start on your own or with somebody else. Generally, the Fool is on his own. So let's just do a quick ask. Is there anything else that we need to know? Temperance. Now, we've got one angel. We now have two angels. This is a guided pairing. It's always been guided. It still is being guided. Temperance is balance. Judgment is the card of waking up. So one party needs to wake up and the other party needs to have this relationship in a truly balanced way. And I dropped this card. This was the Three of Wands. I've dropped it. I've picked it up again upside down. It was in the personal position. But if I talk about it now in a reversed state, it is not waiting for your ships to come in. There's no waiting anymore. And that was what the choice was here at the start. Do I wait? Do I go on my own way? Well, obviously it's up to you. But I think it's a fairly stark choice. I think you'll know yourself. If the masculine tries to come back in a less than perfect way, I think it's going to be a no. If he comes back and wants to start again from the beginning in a really positive way, then perhaps you might entertain the idea. Otherwise, it's off to fresh horizons, new pastures, and see what else is out there in the world for you. And here we are. What's just fallen is the Two of Cups. This is the card of true partnership. And I think this is where we're going to leave it. You are ready for true partnership. And it's because you now know what is the truth for you. Okay? You know what you want. You're not going to be catapulted back into this terribly anxious energy that we started with, because you know what you want. You want a true partnership, and that is what is on its way. Now, just to tell you, there were three other cards that came underneath this Two of Cups. So we have the Ten of Swords. That is the reaching the end with something. The Six of Swords, moving from something difficult to something much better. And Strength. The strength here talks about the fact that you have got to grips with yourself. It has not been easy. You have not enjoyed the last 2 years. You've been struggling. You've been biding your time and weighing up the options and working out what it is you do and don't want. And it's been difficult for you, but you've done it. And what you want is true partnership. And if anybody comes in offering you anything less than what you are looking for, it's going to be a no. Doesn't matter whether it's the divine masculine or somebody new. That's very clear to me. You now know what it is you will and won't put up with, what it is you do and don't want in life now, from now. Brilliant. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck, now we have death. It's a big change. This is a big sweeping change. It's an inevitable change. The inevitability here is because you've done the work. You may not realise you've done the work, but you have done the work. And now what you've got that is coming in for you is going to be so much better than anything that you've had in the past. You have now got the right mindset, determination, and well, I think you're quite calm with it. I think you know now. You haven't got to be worried about other people. If there are other people who want to come in, let them try. Let them be good enough. Because actually now there is no fear here. So before, where we started, we were very fearful and you were stuck in this negative energy. That's going. And don't forget, in the future position, we had the Ace of Wands. That is the gift of the dynamic energy and force to have what you want in life. So I think if you are a divine feminine and you have been struggling, I think this is the month when things are going to start to feel so much better for you. Well, I really hope so. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.